Today, we're putting a super popular homeopathic remedy under the microscope, Arnica. You've probably seen it on the shelves at health food stores, right? But what's the real story behind this little mountain flower? Okay, let's dive in and find out.
And let's be honest, a lot of us are. When you're in pain, the idea of prescription painkillers can be kind of scary. You worry about the side effects, maybe even the risk of addiction. It can feel like you're just trading one problem for another. It's a real concern, and it's got a lot of people looking elsewhere. And that search, right there, for something safer, something non-addictive, is exactly why homeopathic remedies are getting so much buzz. And when you talk about homeopathy for pain and bruises, one of the biggest names you'll hear is Arnica.
So what is this plant that people are turning to for relief? Let's get a proper introduction to the star of our show.
So Arnica, or its fancy name, Arnica montana, is this yellowy orange flower. It looks a lot like a daisy, which is why, you guessed it, its nickname is the mountain daisy. For centuries, creams and ointments made from it have been a staple in traditional medicine cabinets. So what do people actually use it for? Well, it's almost always used topically, meaning you rub it on your skin. People grab it for stuff like sore muscles, achy joints, inflammation, and especially for bruising. It's gotten really popular with people recovering from surgery, too. Okay, now this is where things get interesting. I mean, it's been used for hundreds of years, but that brings us to the big question we're all here for today. Does the science actually back up the tradition? You'd think there'd be a simple yes or no answer. But when you dig into the clinical research, wow, it is surprisingly hard to find. The evidence is, well, it's complicated. And this slide pretty much sums up the problem perfectly. It's like a tale of two studies. You can find research that comes to completely opposite conclusions. On one side, it looks like a miracle worker. On the other, it might actually make things worse. So let's look at the case for Arnica. There was the study back in 2006 on people who just had a facelift. The results, pretty compelling. It found that Arnica significantly cut down on swelling and bruising and really sped up the healing process. This is one of those key studies that people who love Arnica will point to. But then you have this. A totally different study looked at muscle soreness after a workout. People put topical Arnica on their legs after doing some calf exercises, and get this, the researchers found it actually increased their leg pain 24 hours later. A complete 180. So where does that leave us? Basically with no clear winner. The official stance from the scientific community is that the evidence is inconclusive. There just isn't enough solid, consistent research to say for sure if it works or if it's just the placebo effect. You know, where you feel better just because you believe the treatment is working. Okay, so since the science is all over the place, if you're still thinking about trying it, the most important thing, and I mean the most important thing, is knowing how to use it safely. And on this, the rules are very, very clear. The number one safety rule is super simple. Arnica is for your skin, not for your stomach. Use it as a gel or cream, but never put it on broken skin, like on an open cut. And while some super diluted homeopathic pills are made to be taken orally, the raw, undiluted herb itself, that's a definite don't. And I really have to hammer this point home because it's a big one. Let me be crystal clear here. Eating the actual undiluted Arnica herb can be toxic. In larger doses, it can even be fatal. This is the single most critical warning to remember. Next up, something else you really need to watch out for: allergies. If you know you're allergic to the Asteraceae family of plants, and this includes a lot of common flowers like daisies, sunflowers, and marigolds, you should steer clear of Arnica. You're probably going to have a reaction. And just a couple more things to keep on your radar. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, it's absolutely essential you talk to your doctor before using it. And it's not really meant for long-term everyday use either, because it can start to irritate your skin over time. All right, we've covered a lot. What Arnica is, what it's used for, the totally conflicting science, and the all-important safety rules. So, what's the bottom line here? The main takeaway is pretty simple. The scientific jury is still out, way out. Even though it's been used for centuries and tons of people swear by it, the hard clinical evidence just isn't there yet. It's inconsistent and inconclusive. So, what's the one thing you should absolutely do? Talk to your doctor. Before you try Arnica, before you try any supplement, have that conversation. They're the only one who can help you figure out if it's a good idea for you and your specific health situation. And that kind of leaves us with one final big question to chew on. For a remedy that's been around for so long, one with such mixed results in the lab but so many believers, where does the real test lie? Is it in a sterile clinical trial, or is it in the real-world experience of the people who use it? Something to think about.